Morning. 1 second. All right. This might be a little bit of a scuffed stream, just a smidge, because I'm gonna have to be working on some stuff on the fly, but hopefully we will get everything working. Now, if you haven't been here before for one of my set reviews, we do this every single time I would say every single time there's a new set, but there's been so much Universes Beyond crap recently that I just have no interest in. So we avoided some of those. So we didn't do, I don't think we did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We probably won't do, God, what are the upcoming ones? They've got another Marvel one. They've got a Star Trek one. We probably, unless there's like some absolute bangers and it looks like a really good fucking set, or there hasn't been a set for like 2 weeks or whatever, I might like the current they release a new Magic set every like month, and it's too much for me to keep up with at the moment. So but the Secrets of Strixhaven is an actual Magic set, so these ones we're definitely going to do. But yeah, so if you haven't been here before, I looked through the cards. I'm not a particularly good Magic player, but I do love me some limited, some draft, and some pre-release stuffs, some sealed. So we generally just look at it from if we opened a pack in a draft and it was the first and it was one of the cards in there, or if we opened it in sealed, how happy would we be? That's pretty much how we do this, and we go through every card in the set. We meme a little. We talk about how much we like the cards, how much we don't, how much we like the set, how much we don't, that sort of stuff. Just a generic, my thoughts on the cards and the set as a whole. So, with that being said, it also usually takes about 6 hours. So you're going to have to listen to me yap for a fucking long ass time, and I do apologize for that. But with that off the table, with that over and done with, first card, the Dawning Archaic. A 10 mana 7/7, costs 1 less to cast each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard, which in a limited format isn't going to be very many. Usually you have like 4 or 5 pieces of removal, maybe, if you're lucky. It's a 7/7 with reach, and whenever it attacks, you may cast an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell will be put into a graveyard, it gets exiled. I mean, this is still okay. This is still pretty good, right? Like, yes, you're probably playing, at best, 6 or 7 for this. Like, if you have a chunk of removal. Because, like, you're going to have a 40-card deck. 16, 17 is going to be lands. You want 13, like 11 to 15 creatures in there, which gives you like 8 slots, 9 slots. Like, yes, if you get all 8 of your instants and source, if all 8 of those slots, you don't have any artifacts, you don't have any enchantments, just all instants and sorceries, then he costs 2, right? Which is good. And he can recast them all. It's the recasting that we care about, right? If this guy comes down and lets you recast your pieces of removal that are in your graveyard, you're just winning that game, right? Because it gives you your removal and then a second round of your removal. So, again, this guy's in limited, usually depending on how aggressive the format is, but usually the board will stall. Usually there'll be some turns where nothing happens, and usually you will get to your big thing. This is a big thing. I mean, as long as you're casting it for like 6 mana, I'd say it's fine. 6 mana, 7/7 with reach. Sure, like that's probably going to lock the board up. And then when you attack with it, you get a free piece of removal out of your bin. Yeah, yeah, I think this is a good card. Like the 10 mana was a bit. So the first bit, the 10 mana, and it costs 1 less for each instant sorcery card in your graveyard, is a bit underwhelming and limited because like probably not going to have that many. But even if he just recasts like 1 or 2 pieces of removal, he's fucking so good, right? So this is probably a card. I mean, it's colorless. You can probably just run it in anything, right? Unless you are literally running no instants or sorceries, which I would not suggest. So, I think this is good. Next one, Rancorous Archaic is a 5 mana 2/2 with trample and reach, and he enters with a +1/+1 counter on it for each color of mana spent to cast it. Converge? What was... This was Sunburst, wasn't it? Maybe there's one after Sunburst. But this used to be Sunburst. Creature enters with a +1/+1 counter on it for each color of mana spent to cast it. Yeah, this was Sunburst. And other mechanics, I'm sure. There have probably been plenty of creatures that do the same thing. But my first thought when I read that was, this is Sunburst. So if you were running a 5-color deck, this is a 5 mana 7/7 with trample and reach. In limited, you're running 2 to 3. So this is a 5 mana 5/5 with trample and reach. Is that good? It's okay. It's kind of fine. Like, I'm not excited about this card, but if you really don't have anything else in your deck that's just like equal stats to how much you're paying for it, this is probably that, right? I mean, I guess if you're only 2 colors, this is at most a 4/4, which then feels like ass. But if you have 3 colors and you get 3 colors and you play this on 4/5 with 3 colors, it's just a 5 mana 5/5 with trample and reach. That's fine, right? Not exciting. It's not game breaking, but in limited, fine, totally fine. So yeah, this is just okay. Thundering Archaic. Okay, so we've got like 3 different Archaics, maybe more, I guess. They're all avatars. Okay. A 6 mana 3/3 with the Sunburst ability again. When this creature enters, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls with mana value less than or equal to the number of colors of mana spent on this creature. Put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. I mean, again, this isn't good. This is a 6 mana 3/3, but it's a 6 mana 3/3 that exiles something. Non-land permanent as well, so you can get rid of, like, if you're in 3 colors, this hits anything that's 3 or less. Not terrible. Not good. But it's also not awful, right? I don't hate it. I'm just kind of underwhelmed. The put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library, the 2 thing, is never going to be relevant in limited. Like, well, yeah, I won't say never going to be relevant and limited, but shouldn't be relevant and limited. You shouldn't be trying to mill your opponent out by putting cards from your graveyard back on your library. Or I guess you can, if they're trying to reanimate stuff, you can yoink it back to the bottom of their library so they can, I guess. But I don't know how much reanimation there is in the set. I can't really evaluate this on an interrupt on reanimation because I don't know how much. I mean, usually the Boros colors. God, what the fuck are they called? There's why can I not remember any of the schools now? The red white one, the Boros colors, whatever. They like to. Silver Quill is black white. I honestly can't remember. We'll have to look through. But yeah, the white-red people like to reanimate stuff, so maybe this works against them. I think this is the least... Like, this can be game-winning. This is just fine stats. This is really underwhelming stats, but it is removal. So, like, there's that. So maybe this is good because it is removal, but it's like, we'll have to see what removal is in the set. This is like sorcery speed because it's a creature. And it depends on how many colors you can put into it. So it's kind of, I don't know, a bit but who knows? Maybe it's actually crazy. I don't think so. I think it's just not very good. Together as one. A 6-mana sorcery, Converge. Target player draws X cards. Together as one deals X damage to any target, and you gain X life, where X is the number of colors of mana to spend to cast this spell. So at best, this is 6 mana. So most likely in limited, this is 6 mana, draw 3 cards, deal 3 damage to any target, gain 3 life. Okay. I don't hate it. I think if you're running two colors, you don't play this. I think if you're running 3 or more, you can consider it, right? Like, because all the schools are 2 mana, so you'd have to be splashing a 3rd mana for this. You'd have to be splashing out of your school for something, which is doable, but like, I don't know. But yeah, you'd want to be at least 3 colors for this, right? Like, at least. And in limited, you tend to not want to go above 3 because you become so inconsistent. So yeah, sure. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's kind of just whatever. Transcendent Archaic is a 7 mana 6/6. Not bad. With Vigilance, not good, but it's not bad. When this creature enters, draw X cards, where X is the number of colors of mana spent to cast it. If you draw 1 or more cards this way, discard 2. So again, you kind of want 3 mana at a minimum, because then it's draw 3 different colors of mana at minimum, because then it's draw 3, discard 2. Right? I suppose draw 2, discard 2 is fine, like looting. But I think you want 3 colors of mana to make this really viable. So, again, I'm going to say with all of these Archaics, you kind of need to be 3 colors, a 3-color deck. Anything below that, you probably don't care about any of them apart from the first one. Ajani's Response. Hey! Ajani's back. Love it. 5 mana, costs 3 less if it targets a tapped creature, destroy target creature. Yep, this is very regular white removal. It's removal. It's not the most exciting. You can't use it on... Well, you can use it on things all the time, but it costs 5, so whatever. But, yeah, it's just a good thing to have. I mean, removal in general is a good thing to have, so... Sure. Antiquities on the Loose. Okay, 3 mana, create 2/2 red and white spirit creature tokens. Then if this spell was cast from anywhere other than your hand, put a +1/+1 spirit you control. It's got flashback 6. This is still good. So this is 3 mana for a 4/4's worth of power across 2 bodies. And then 6 mana for 6/6 worth of power across 2 bodies. That's if you don't have a single other spirit on the board, right? So I like this. I think this is great. This I would play in any. Like, I know the red-white people are usually the, like, reanimation and spirit stuff. I'd play this in whatever. I still can't remember the fucking school. It's got Quintorius in it. Lawhold. Fucking school. I remember because it's Quintorius' second name. But yeah, so the Lawhold people like to reanimate stuff, right? This is obviously meant for Lawhold, but I think if you're just playing white, you play this because this is great. Ascendant Dust Speaker. 5 mana for a 3/4 flyer. Probably take it because it's that. When this creature enters, put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature you control. At the beginning of combat on your turn, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. Okay, so it's overpriced because it's a 5 mana 3/4, but it is flying. So That makes it usable. +1/+1 counter on another target creature is fine. Exiling cards from graveyards, fine. Not a May, you have to do it as well. So you will eventually have to target your own graveyard, I imagine. But I don't know, maybe Lorehold likes that? It's another Lorehold card, by the way, so... Yeah, I don't know. Seems fine. Like, the only reason it's fine is because of the flying. But it's a 3/4 flyer, and flyers can just win games, so... Daydream. A 1-mana sorcery. Exile target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Woo! Flicker shenanigans! Sorcery speed flicker shenanigans, though. That's gross. Yeah, I think because it's sorcery speed, I hate it. Unless there's, like, stuff you really, really want to... Like, I guess, currently the only thing you'd flicker would be the Dust Speaker that we've seen, and, like, who cares? Because these guys work on mana to cast it, which, if it's being flickered, is 0, so it would do fuck all. Trigger the Dust Speaker, but, like, who gives a shit, right? I mean, it would turn it into a, what, a 4/5 flyer? Not nothing, but, like, you're not doing it for the Dust Speaker's ability. We'll have to see if there's any white stuff that you want to flicker, or... does have flashback as well, but again, sorcery speed flicker, sure. It's just going to be bad. Usually. Dig Site Inventory. A 1-mana, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, it gains vigilance until end of turn, flashback. This I like. A 1-mana, +1/+1 counter forever, it gets vigilance, so you can attack with it, and then you can just flash it back and do it again. You can grow your target to be bigger than your opponent's stuff pretty easily. This I like as a sorcery. Not as good as removal, but this is still certainly something. Especially because it's sorcery, so your opponent can see the +1/+1 counter and not like a combat trick or anything. But because it's a counter, it sticks around, so your creature's just going to be bigger. Do it twice. I like this, yeah. Eager Glyph Mage. A 4-mana 3/3. When it enters, create a 1/1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying. These cards are always good. Dude with a dude, especially if the little dude is flying. Yeah, these are always good to have, because you could just have more people than your opponent and just beat them up. I don't know if there's any way to use like more people, but yeah, this is usually token makers are just limited. Elite Interceptor. Oh, this is the new mechanic. I haven't seen this yet. 1 mana for a 1/2 that enters prepared. While it's prepared, you may cast a copy of its spell. Doing so unprepares it. Okay. So you play it as a 1 mana 1/2, which is fine. And then for 2 mana, you can tap or untap target creature and draw a card. This is a nice little 1-drop to have, right? You can save the rejoinder for later if you need to tap something down, get through for some extra damage, draw a card. The draw a card is nice, because it means the creature replaces itself, even if it has to be at a later date for more mana. I don't hate it. I don't know how good these prepared things are going to be. Whether they're going to warp everything like Adventure did, or whether they're just going to be like fine because they're much slower. Because it's creature first into spell rather than spell into creature. Because if you play this and it just gets removed, you don't get to do anything with it. But you know, it's still like a fine body. No one's gonna be well, unless there's like a black destroy target creature that costs 2 or less or whatever. That you're very unlikely to get this removed. You're just gonna play it because nobody's gonna give a shit. 'Cause it's a 1 mana 1/2. And then, you know, you get an extra draw card in white, which white really needs usually draw cards. So, yeah, I think this is good. Good little 1-drop. Emeritus of Truce. A 3-mana... Oh, there's a wall of text. A 3-mana 3/3. When this creature enters, target player creates a 1/1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying. Then, if an opponent controls more creatures than you, this creature becomes prepared. And it comes with swords? Wow. I mean, the issue is, right, I suppose you can play this, give your opponent a, like, say your opponent's got one big creature on the field. You play this, you've both got one, but you give them the 1/1 flyer, then you just swords their big creature. Right? But they're still left with a flyer that you can't block because this guy isn't flying. And you can't swords again. You can only do it once. There's no way for him to become prepared again. He just is. And then he's not. I mean, he's still a 3-mana 3/3, which is fine. And just having... If you just play this and he gets prepared because your opponent... Like, say your opponent has that 1/2 we just looked at. And you just play this on turn 3 and just give them the 1/1 Inkling token. And you just you just have swords, right? Like, and it's instant. It's proper swords. It's not like a weird sorcery swords. They have to remove this before they play anything dangerous because you could just swords it in response, right? You just sit there and have swords to plowshares face up on the field. Like, that's not necessarily the way you want to do it. You probably want to keep this in your hand until they play a creature and then you play this. Give them the token, get swords the creature. But you can just play this as a 3-mana 3/3 body, I have swords up. Right? And if they don't destroy it that turn, you can just untap, leave 1 mana open, you always have swords to plowshares. Even if they go to remove this, you just swords to plowshares, whatever's on their field. Yeah, I like this card. I think. Again, it's difficult to know because removal is so good in Limited and removal attached to creatures is infinitely better. But you're not... First of all, they have to have more creatures, right? You can't just play this, give them a 1/1, and then this is prepared and then you just plows the 1/1, right? Can't do that. They have to have more creatures than you. But I mean, this is a good, like, in case of emergency, play the cat, right? Like, you say you're behind, your opponent does have like 3 creatures, you got nothing. Play this guy, give yourself an Inkling. It still gets prepared. You just exile their biggest thing. In case of emergency, play cat. Right? Like, I think you take this every time you see it in Limited. I'm just sort of debating because the best way, the best case of this card is so much better than the worst case, right? Like, best case, this is you get 2 creatures and get to exile your opponent's best creature because they have 3 creatures. You play this, make the Inkling for yourself, then exile their best creature. You've got 2 creatures, they've got 2 creatures, just completely balance the board. But the worst is you play this guy, he's a 3/3, and your opponent gets a 1/1 flyer. Or you get a 1/1 flyer. Sure. Like, if this guy isn't prepared, he's just a 3/3. Because that whole wall of text on the left is how you get swords to plowshares. And the other half is just swords to plowshares. So if you, like, there's a chance this guy just comes... Like, imagine your opponent has a creature. You play this. You give them the Inkling, and your opponent sacks the Inkling or creature in response to this trigger. And I don't know if there's sack... There's got to be with the green-blue people that like to sack pests or whatever, right? There's got to be some sacrifice shenanigans, even if it's not as good as, like, what's the 1-mana ritual of something or whatever, where you sack a creature, draw 2 cards. Even if it's not as good as that. But imagine you play this, target your opponent with the Inkling, and they just sack their own creature to draw 2 cards. They get an Inkling, a no replacement creature, you get a 3/3 with no abilities. Congratulations. Right, like... It's so just like, again, and I think most of the time, if you play like a human being with brain cells, this is a 3/3 Your opponent gets a 1/1. You exile their creature. I think most of the time that is the standard what happens. Your opponent has a 1/1 flyer. You have a 3/3. That's just what the board state looks like after you play this creature and activate Swords, right? But, like I said, there's a chance this guy is a 3/3 that does nothing. And that just hurts me in ways that it really shouldn't. Because there's so much text on this card. And all of it is, if you fuck it up, if your opponent has a way to interact with this, or you fuck it up, it's nothing. Doesn't do anything. It's so bad. Ennis Debate Moderator. 2 mana, 1/1. When he enters, exile up to one other target creature you control. Return to the battlefield under its own control. Another sorcery speed flicker, sure. Instead, if one or more cards is put into exile this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on him. Okay, so he grows if you do the Law Hold exiling stuff thing. Sure. I mean, he's not a good flicker target, but if you do have good flicker targets, he can flicker them, and then you can flicker the good flicker targets with the other spell we saw earlier, and this guy's just going to get big. Which is generally pretty good in Limited. Like, things that grow themselves are just going to be good because they just are. So, like, fine. I think we'll need to see some really decent flicker targets. I guess Emeritus of Truce is technically a flicker target as well, which is weird, but funny. I guess anything that enters prepared is a flicker target, right? Maybe that's the idea. Maybe you flicker your prepared things so you can do them over and over again. I don't know. But this guy I don't hate just because he grows himself, and in Limited, things that grow themselves can be just really good. They can get out of control if your opponent doesn't have removal and you're just allowed to do whatever it is that makes them grow. Erode. Destroy target creature or planeswalker its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. This is not Swords. What's the other one? Path to Exile? This is just Path. Path, but you can hit planeswalkers with it now. Yeah, it's great. Surprisingly, one of the best removal spells is still good. When you make it to better, yeah, this is just Path. Path, but you can hit planeswalkers with it. Sure. Okay. We're just reprinting better Path now? Fine. Okay, yeah. Weirdly, you take this. It's incredible removal. So, yes, you just take this. God, Sure. Yeah. But, yeah, this is just Path to Exile, which is an incredible card. So, yes. You take better Path to Exile. Surprisingly. Graduation Day is a 1-mana enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell that targets a creature, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Okay, so if you've got a bunch of Flicker and what are they? Combat tricks and shit like that. This just grows things constantly. This is good. I don't mind this. Again, things that automatically grow stuff just sat on the board can be just really good. I don't know how many sort of things like this you're going to have access to, but if you have, say, like 5 or 6 instant... no, even if you have like 8 instant sorceries, this just isn't... I mean, yeah, it's probably fine. It's probably still fine. It's not super exciting because you don't have a massive amount of instants or sorceries, but it's probably still good enough, right, in Limited? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about this one. I'd have to see it in action. I'd have to see how many instants or sorceries you actually have. Because this works on removal as well. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery that targets a creature, even if you're targeting your opponent's stuff, this works. So it's just good with removal as well, but... Again, you'd have to see how many you have. Group Project. 2 mana sorcery, create a 2/2. And flashback, tap 3 untapped creatures. Sure. Yeah, this is fine. 2 mana 2/2, and then essentially for free at the end of your, like, say you've got that thing that, like, give things vigilance or whatever, right? You can just give 3 creatures vigilance, swing with them, and then tap them all afterwards and get an extra 2/2 out of it. Like, I imagine this is pretty good. In limited. It's just 2 creatures, right? One you have to pay for, one you essentially get for free if you have, you know, creatures that can't attack anyway, so you can just make an extra dude. Yeah, I like this. Harsh Annotation. 2 mana, destroy target's creature, its controller, create a 1/1. Yeah, sure. Again, it's removal. Destroy their best thing, you get a 1/1. It does have flying, which I don't like. But it's probably still fine. We've seen white has some flyers in it, so it's probably still just good enough. And yeah, like, your opponent plays like a huge dude, you just gone. It's now 1/1 Inkling. It's removal. You take it every single opportunity. So sure. On a bound page, a 4 mana 3/3 with first strike that enters prepared. 1 mana sorcery, target creature has +1/+0 and gains flying until end of turn. So you can make it a 4/3 flyer with first strike and slap your opponent. I mean, a 4 mana 3/3 with first strike is fucking scary to deal with, right? This is already, like, intimidating on the board because of first strike. I think this card's probably really good in limited, right? It's a 4 mana 3/3 with first strike, which kills anything that's not 4 toughness or more. That's if you don't buff this. So we've already seen a bunch of +1/+1 counters, which, again, extra terrifying on a first strike creature. And this can just give you a way to go over the top and punch your opponent to death. Yeah, this card's good. Informed Inkwright. A 2/2 with Vigilance. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a creature, create a 1/1. This is great. This is very good, right? Every single instant or sorcery spell, your removal or your flicker or your combat tricks, all of them make you an Inkling. Yes. Yes, please, I would like that all of the time in any color. This has to be. Just has to be. Are we still, is the other stream still doing good? Okay, it looks like everyone's still tracking along. Sorry about all the connecting stuff. I'm checking to make sure the stream's functioning properly. But yeah, this is great. Ink Shape Demonstrator. A 4 mana 3/4 with Ward. Okay, sure. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a creature, this creature gets +1/+0 and gains lifelink. Again, I like this one too. A 4 mana 3/4 with Ward. It's difficult to get rid of. And then every time you use a piece of removal, a flicker spell, or a like a targeted buff spell, whatever, like a combat trick or whatever, he just gets bigger and has lifelink. I like this. Yeah. This is looking... Silverquill fucking beating people up in this set. Interjection. Here's... Target creature gets +2/+2 against first strike. So here's your combat trick that you want as many of as you can fit in your deck. 1 mana instant +2/+2 and first strike, so you win every combat and all of your guys fucking... You get an Inkling, this guy gets lifelink, and you get a +1/+1 counter or something. Man, if you have all that set up, this card is just bananas, right? Joined Researcher. 2 mana for a 2/2 with first strike. That's already scary. At the beginning of each end step, if an opponent has more cards in hand than you, this creature becomes prepared. You get Secret Rendezvous. I mean, Secret Rendezvous is a card that in Limited I worry about because you're giving your opponent more resources. And there's a chance they just have a better deck than you because you don't know necessarily what they're playing before you do it. But White does like drawing cards. Or White does need help drawing cards. Usually White doesn't have access to as much draw as everyone else. Like, Green usually does it depending on the size of a creature. Blue does it all of the time. Black does it by losing life. Red Impulse does it. And White just doesn't. Usually it's like, depending on if you have a weenie, right? A small creature comes in, you get a draw. A cheap creature comes in, you get a draw. Right? They don't generally have, like, just good draw spells. Secret Rendezvous is like I said, I don't like it because it gives your opponent draw. But like this card reads to me as a commander card, right? This is you play this, and then if anyone at the commander table has more than you, next turn you can make yourself and whichever opponent you're playing politics with, whoever you're saying, like, oh, this guy's the danger, and I'll help you by giving you 3 cards, and I'll get 3 cards. So this smacks of commander card, but it's probably still fine in Limited just because it's a 2/2 with first strike, and if you run out of cards and your opponent has like a full suite, you can just draw 3, right? Owlin Historian. 3 mana, 2/3 fly. When it enters Surveil, and when one more cards leave your graveyard, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn. It's a flyer, right? Probably good enough just being a flyer. This is the least exciting card I think we've seen so far, maybe? But, flyer. Practiced Offense. 3 mana, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature target player controls. Target creature gains your choice of double strike or lifelink, and you can flashback for 2. Yeah, this card's silly good. Again, you'd have to be. There has been a bunch of ways to make lots of dudes though, right? Yeah, like Silver Quill's making all the Inklings, the White Red are doing a bunch of spirits, and then you can just play this and everything gets huge. And because it targets a creature, you can trigger all the other Silver Quill things with like making another Inkling, getting a +1/+1 counter. This card's got to be good. Like if you have the shell for it, this card's bananas. I think this card is still just good by itself, but I think if you have the shell, it's just bananas. Primary Research. 5 mana. When this enchantment enters, return target non-land permanent with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. At the beginning of your end step, if a card left your graveyard this turn, draw a card. This is 5 mana. Return a non-land permanent with 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Draw a card. Sure, and then you can continue to just draw later. Yeah, I don't. Like, what are we getting back? Most likely. I mean, there's some cheap stuff that you could definitely get back. I don't hate it, but I'm not that. Because usually White pays like 1 or 2 mana for the top thing. Right? Ugh. This is just too expensive, I think. 5 mana to return a permanent with mana value 3 or less, and then you get to draw a card. Like, it's so expensive. Like, the top part, the return target non-land permanent with, or creature card, I guess not always permanent, with mana value 3 or less. There's a 1 mana version of that. Right, that's currently played. I don't know if it's instant or sorcery speed, I can't remember. But it's just 1 mana, return target creature with mana value 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. There is a 1 mana, Helping Hand, I think is the 1 mana version of this currently in Standard. There's 5. I just don't think it's good enough. And even in limited, like, I just don't think it's good enough. I think Will Blade Lariat? 2 mana, 1/1 with double strike, and it enters prepared, and target creature gains +1/+0 and gains double strike. This is a +1/+1 counter target, and also makes something else into a terrifying threat as well. I think I like this because like a 1/1 with double strike isn't too scary. But you get 1 +1/+1 counter on this card, maybe 2. This thing's fucking terrifying. You have to remove it. Like, you just have to get rid of it before that happens. Or else it's just going to start eating creatures you control and then beating the fuck out of you. Yeah. Yeah, this card is very scary. Rapier Wit. 2 mana, tap target creature. If it's your turn, put a stun counter on it. Draw a card. Sure. Sure. I'm not particularly excited by this card. I don't hate this card. It's good with all of our, like, target creature get things, and it replaces itself. Sure. Like, it's fine. Rehearsed Debater. A 3 mana 3/3 Vigilance. Whenever you cast an sorcery spell that targets a creature, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn. It's only until end of turn. It's a 3 mana 3/3 Vigilance, though, so it's just fine stat-wise. It's not the most exciting card, but it's just fine. Restoration Seminar. 7 mana Lesson. Return target non-land permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Anyone. This is 7 mana, though. Very expensive. Paradigm. I don't know what this is. Then exile this spell. After you first resolve a spell with this name, you may cast a copy of it from exile without paying its mana cost at the beginning of each of your first main phases. So, if you play this card, you get it every turn from then on. What was this? This was there was a set of cards that did this as well. They weren't lessons. What are they called? Replay every turn. MTG card bet. What are they? No. What's Final Fortune? No. That's not what I'm talking about. There was a set. They're very old cards. No. Replay every turn. Sorcery. Not extra turns. Fuck me. I don't know what they're called. There's like there was one for each color. I remember the blue one. I can't remember what it did, but there was definitely a blue one. They're very old set of cards. Why can I not remember? It had like an ability that was after you play this card, exile it, replay it at the beginning of your upkeep or something. Oh god, this is gonna annoy me because I cannot remember what it's fucking called. Is it? Oh. That is a card, but it's not the one I'm looking for. Come on. I'm sorry, I know I'm stuck here just scrolling through shit on my phone, but I'm trying to remember what the rotation of cards was. I don't think I'm going to find it. So, there was a type of card. Maybe if I just search it, maybe it'll link me to... Paradigm, MTG. Paradigm, MTG. Similar card. Epic Cycle from Savior of Kamigawa? Is that the one? Maybe. Saviors of Kamigawa. Epic Savior. Is this the one? Yes! Eternal Domination. So this is the blue one. This is the one I was remembering because I had this card. So it's a 7+, so it's 10 mana. Search an opponent's library for an artifact, creature, enchantment, or land. Put that card into play under your control, then they shuffle. Epic. For the rest of the game, you can't play spells. At the beginning of each of your upkeeps, copy this spell. Except for the epic ability, you choose new targets for the copy. So that's why Paradigm is reminding me. Because it's better epic, right? Because you can still play the game with this. This just triggers every turn. Yeah, there was a set. So is there 5 of these? Is there a Paradigm set? Again, I don't know. So in Limited, you are probably going to get your expensive cards, right? Which you have to take into account. Limited is generally going to be slower. So you might just get to this card. And then, is this card good if you play it and it just goes off every single turn? Yes, of course it is, because you just get a new card from your graveyard every turn. So I think all of these Paradigm cards have to be busted, right? Unless they just suck. This one doesn't. This one brings back a creature every turn, bare minimum, unless your opponent exiles your graveyard. Although it is weird, right? The red-white people want to exile cards from their graveyard, but then also have the best reanimation effects. So, like... But yeah, this card has to be good, right? Like, this... again, it's 7 mana, so maybe you just don't get there, but if you get there, you get this every turn. Yeah, sure. Crazy good. Has to be. This whole Paradigm set has to, assuming there is a set of Paradigm. I'm gonna go with there is, because like the cards like this generally have like a full set. So yeah, hopefully there's like same with the white guy that had the white epic. The white mythic rare that had the I get swords to plowshares. There's probably a green one that gives you like an iconic green spell. What iconic green spells? Harmonize is a bit much. I don't know. There's probably a red one that probably has like Fatal Saluting or something. A blue one. God, tell me the blue one doesn't have whatever the power 9 fucking blue card is. Draw 3 for 1. Ancestral Recall. Please tell me it doesn't. What would the black one have? Like, the most iconic black card is going to be Murder, but that would be shit. Ritual? Don't let it have Ritual. But yeah, there's probably like a cycle of generally there's a cycle of mythic rares features, so I'm assuming there's more of these. Shattered Acolyte. 2 mana, 2/2 with lifelink. Pay 1, sacrifice this creature, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Sure. Fine. It's a 2 mana, 2/2 with lifelink, so it's fine to begin with. And then Worst comes to worst, you can just get rid of an artifact or enchantment with it. Sure, it's fine. I don't hate it just being a 2-mana 2/2 with lifelink, honestly. Soaring Stone Glider is a 3-mana 4/3 for, as an additional cost to cast the spell, exile 2 cards from your graveyard or pay 2. And it's got Flying and Vigilance. This is good. Gotta be, right? 4/3 Flying Vigilance. Even if you have to pay for it full retail for 5, I'd still take that. If you can exile 2 cards from your graveyard and get the special effects that the Lorehold guys want you to do this with, then yeah, this is great. Spirit Call Enthusiast. A 3-mana 3/3. Whenever one or more tokens you control enter, this creature becomes prepared. Wow, so you keep preparing it, sure. 1 or 2 target creatures each get +2/+2 until end of turn. It is sorcery. So you could have this down. You make a token, trigger this creature's ability, then make another token, and it's prepared again. Pretty good. Yeah, you could just use this as like a big pump engine almost. That's pretty cool. I actually quite like this card. I mean, it's a 3-mana 3/3, so it's just fine on stats, and then, you know, you can just keep pumping with it. Stand up for yourself. 3-mana, destroy target creature with power 3 or greater. Sure, yeah. It's just good removal. Stirring Hope Singer. 3-mana, 1/3, flying lifelink. Whenever you cast an sorcery spell that targets a creature, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Yes. This is also incredible. A bit expensive. A 3-mana 1/3 is... but every time you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets something, again, removal, your bounce effects, your like flicker stuff, or your combat tricks, this guy just goes. And again, like with this, you could do this like 3 times, and this is targeting creatures. So this goes off every time, right? Every time you prepare that guy with a token and then just do it, this guy just triggers. So that can get out of hand very quickly. Dosen. 2-mana 3/1. You can exile it from a graveyard, gain 2 life, surveil. Sure, this is mediocre. Kind of pack filling. I wouldn't hate running it. I also wouldn't be excited about it either. Summoned Dromedary. 4-mana 4/3 Vigilance. You can return this from your graveyard to your hand, which would trigger your cards leaving your graveyard thing. Okay. Like, it's fine. You can keep getting it back. So that's fine. But it's not the most exciting creature, right? It's a 4-mana 4/3. Eventually this will just get outclassed. But it's going to keep coming back. You can keep putting it in the way, putting it back to your hand, replaying it. Or it costs 6 mana to put it back to your hand and replay it, which is a bit much. But and you can only do it as a sorcery, which sucks. Oh, we're on to blue. Okay. Let me go back through white, and then I will quickly go to the bathroom, and then we'll move on to blue. White has some cool things, right? This whole whatever the effect is, I can't say that word. Reparty? I don't know. But this working with all of your removal, all of your flicker spells, all of your buff spells, just means this gets out of hand very fast. And a lot of it's counters as well. And they have a guy that can keep doing it with this Spirit Call Enthusiast. Because, like, so here's the thing. Say you've got, again, this is Magical Christmas Land. I know that's not going to happen. But say you have Stirring Hope Singer out, and you have the Spirit Caller Enthusiast, and you have the Informed Inkray. Okay? So, you play a spell, which makes an Inkling, which also gives everyone +1/+1. Where is it? Gives everyone +1/+1. And, because an Inkling enters, this comes prepared. So then you can pay 2 for this guy to give 2 creatures +2/+2, which makes an Inkling, which also gives everyone +1/+1, which, because the Inkling enters the battlefield, this becomes prepared again, so you can tap 2 to target 2 creatures to give them +2/+2, which, and you can see the loop, right? Like, again, Magical Christmas Land. First of all, that's 2 rares you have to get, and an uncommon, and they have to all be on the field, and your opponent has to not have any interaction. Magical Christmas Land. Never gonna happen. But you could just build a huge board, and all of them have +1/+1, of just this guy triggering alone. You just 2 mana, trigger this guy, board gets bigger. 2 mana, trigger this guy, board gets bigger. 2 mana, trigger this guy, board gets bigger. You could do that as many times as you have 2 mana in the same turn, because every time a token enters, he becomes prepared again. Right? Like, you could just go hard. Also, these Paradigm cards are just going to be crazy, right? I don't know if this one's a good one, but it's fine. And they actually have some decent removal as well. Well, incredible removal and decent removal. So yeah, I think White's doing well this set. Very well.